Okay, good morning. Now, having got the front end stripped off the Legend in the last video, and having taken some time to think about it, I think the right thing to do is replace everything. Every bearing, every seal, every consumable, chain and sprockets, brake pads. I'm even going to replace the rear shock absorber because having a close look at it, it's rusty and it's leaking, so it won't pass muster. Seriously, we're going to go through this bike front to back and replace the whole lot. Now, unfortunately, the parts bill for that has come to £750, and that was a painful lot to order. But look, that's it. Thank you so much to our patrons. We can order that kind of stuff. £750 of our patrons' donation money invested in parts for this project. That's exactly what it's for. So thank you to all our patron family for making this possible. Now, those parts are not going to be here for a little while, up to 10 days before everything rolls in. Some of it will come in quicker and we'll start moving as quick as we do. But for now, there's nothing here yet. So for today, we'll do something a little bit different. Okay, littered throughout this channel's back catalogue in numerous videos, I've used tips and tricks and things to save you money, time and effort and get you around problems, and they've always been well received. So I want to do a few of those today, just a few little bits and pieces condensed into one quick fire video if we can. So the first one, number one, is the good old seal mate. If you ever had a leak in fork seal, a ring of oil around your fork leg and you think, oh, got to replace the fork seals yet again, oh my goodness. 9 times out of 10, it's not a leak in fork seal. It's just dirt under the seal. Now there's a product for this, a product called a seal mate. A seal mate is a little sliver of plastic that you use by sticking it to your fork seal and you hook the dirt out and it stops it leaking. Now, we may have already seen that. You might have got one. I don't know. But before the seal mate product was born, before that gadget came to market, I used to use a milk carton. I'll show you. Right, just for demonstration purposes, I was going to chuck the fork leg, just one fork leg, back in the bike that holds it still. And I'll show you it works. Okay, this little trick has served me since I was 17 years old. It will always get you out of trouble. It works every time. You see the little telltale ring of oil around your fork leg, plunge them up and down. If you get those little tide lines, that's not a leaking fork seal. That's a weeping fork seal, and it's very common. It's caused by dirt collecting in the fork seal inside. The little rubber seal in there, it's got 2 little soft rubber lips that grip against the chrome leg and stop the oil coming out. But over time, the dirt collecting on the front of your fork legs gets rubbed in behind the seal, it collects up and it pushes the seal away from the leg and it allows the oil to just weep out very slightly. And all you need to do is get your little shift of plastic in there, scrape it round and get the dirt out, and it will go back against the leg and it will seal again. And I've done it 100 times and it's never failed. Very rarely is it actually a blown fork seal. First thing you need to do is get the dust boots off and clean out the muck that's inside. Then I'll show you how to make a seal mate. Right, that's the shape you need, about 6 inches long, about 1 inch wide, with a curved edge on the back and a little hook on the front. The curved edge on the back gets inserted first. Wrap it round the fork leg, so it's the shape of the fork leg, and slip that rounded curved edge underneath the seal, about 1/2 inch. We'll run it all the way around, hook the dirt out, like this. Right, there it is. Now this is no guaranteed fix, but trust me, with my experience on this, I've found 9 times out of 10 that fixes it. You won't get a great big pile of gritty filth out of there. If you do, then your fork seal's pouring already anyway. But just that little bit, that black tide line, doing that, it kind of realigns the seals, and honestly, they seal nearly every time afterwards. After you've done this, put it back together, plunge the front end up and down a dozen more times and see if you're still getting the tide line. And if not, do it again. You might need to do this 3 or 4 times until it stops weeping. And you might do it and it stops weeping and a week later it starts again. So then you know you're on a hiding to a set of seals. It's no guarantee, which is why £7.50 for an official Sealmate product is disappointing when it actually doesn't do anything. But it really will most of the time. So there we are. Make your own Sealmate out of a bit of old bottle and then clean out your fork seals regularly. Right, what's next? Right, now this old chestnut goes back about 7 years to 2013, I think. We did a simple skills video, how to remove a rounded nut. If you've got a rounded nut or bolt head, you can't get a socket on it, you can't get a spanner on it, nothing will hold it, you can't get grips on it, there is another way. You can use a center punch, you can pin punch the nut and you can tap it off with a center punch. So let's put a nut on here, go on the grinder and round it off so it's got no hope of a tool touching it, and I'll show you how to remove it just with a small hammer and a center punch. Right, now that's completely trashed. You're not going to get a spanner or a socket go anywhere near that. Now you can put vice grips on there and go for it, but the problem using vice grips is you're squeezing the nut onto the bolt. The nut's made of metal, it's thin, so when you get hold of it with a good pair of vice grips, give it a good clunk, you're actually squeezing it against the bolt. So you're stopping it moving, you're making it worse. Center punch does the job. Nice and sharp, eye protection on. You're looking to use your center punch to tap it undone in an anti-clockwise motion. But the trick is, before you start, you've got to pin yourself a little hole. So go at it straight away, directly into the bolt. You're actually tapping yourself straight into the nut to make a divot, a little dent. Then when you've got the little dent, then you can turn the center punch. So it's actually moving the nut in an anti-clockwise direction, and it works every time. A little center punch, nice and sharp, tap it around gently, away it goes. That's the second one. Okay, for the third little nugget, you need sometimes to cut a piece of tubing dead square, absolutely perfectly square, not slanted or at an angle. You need to mark it first of all, so you know where to cut. Easiest way, take a piece of paper, wrap it round, and when it comes back round again, this is no good. Just line the corner up with the top like so, and then a little piece of tape, tape that in place. Then that can simply be marked with your pen all the way around. There. Now, once you take the paper off, the top edge of that line is raggedy, but the bottom edge is absolutely perfect, dead square. But the next trick is how to actually cut it square, not just mark it square, because it's already having a nice square mark on it. You start putting a hacksaw through, you know yourself, it's just going to wander off. Here's a method of doing it, so it doesn't. It will go absolutely through that dead square perfectly first time. And it's so easy. I'll show you. Secure your piece of tubing in a vise, then a Jubilee clip, a regular straightforward Jubilee clip that fits the pipe. Pop it over the end, leave the line itself showing completely, and do it up. Now the natural design or nature of a Jubilee clip, being as it's 1/2 inch wide, it will self-center on the tube on its own. It will only sit center. So do it up nice and tight, That will grip against the tube. Then you can just use your hacksaw and cut against the Jubilee clip. As you cut down, use the clip as a guide. You won't cut into the clip. It will naturally follow the line of the clip all the way through, and you should have a nice square cut at the end. So let's do it and see if it works. Yep. Right, now the best test of whether that cut is dead straight, stand it on its end. On the bench, is it straight? Absolutely dead upright. Dead square. No need for fancy tools, chop saws or anything like that. All you need is a bit of paper and a Jubilee clip. Easy. Right, there we are. 4 little tricks, things you can use yourself. In the last few videos, I've been saying the words, but you knew that, didn't you? At the end of things that I might show. And that's purely because I'm assuming many of you do, but it seems that from the feedback that perhaps some of you don't. And a lot of you saying, no, I didn't know that, and I learned that. So look, that inspired this video. That's what I thought. We've got not much to do today. We are waiting for parts. So let's show you 4 little things. Some of them we've shown before, but it brings them bang up to date. And you can do it yourself to save you money, time and effort and get you out of a situation. So 4 little tips there. I hope you enjoyed those. We're doing this just while we're waiting for those massive haul of parts. They're all being assembled. They'll arrive at different times. So I don't know what we're doing next. We'll see what arrives in the post. There it is. Thank you for watching. Take it easy, ride safe. And the last word to Penny for this one?
Keep safe in these difficult times.
Like she said.